Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, come on. Are you oh. Oh, got it. My god, that's so freaking hard. Holy crap. So here's a fun fact. I usually research games before I decide to 100% complete it for this channel. I like to know what I'm getting into, how long it takes, and what kind of pain or pleasure I'm signing up for. A couple of months ago, while brainstorming what game to complete next, I asked ChatGPT. It recommended Celeste for its infamous difficulty. Since this was a couple months ago, I've forgotten all about that conversation and why it recommended Celeste to me in the first place. I actually played Celeste not long after it first launched back in January of 2018, so I figured, why not play it now? I pulled up the trophy guide on PSN Profiles to get a sense of what I was in for. And what did I find? 2 out of 10 difficulty and around 15 hours complete. Sounds easy, right? Yeah, no. Frost is Furious? You betrayed me. Well, kind of. Because once I got deep into the game, this wasn't a 2 out of 10. This was a full-blown 10 out of 10. Celeste demands some of the most precise platforming I've ever done. It's the kind of challenge that's equals parts satisfying and completely maddening. And for me, it leaned heavily into frustratingly difficult. There were so many screens where I almost gave up, over and over again. But I already spent like 3 hours in Photoshop making that bomb-ass thumbnail, and I wasn't about to let that go to waste. Call it sunk cost fallacy, or gamer pride, or just plain stupidity. Despite the difficulty, I pushed through and reached the end, but not in the way you might be thinking. I can confidently say that Celeste is by far, without a doubt, the hardest 2D platformer I've ever completed. I 100% completed a lot of 2D platformers. Rayman Legends, Super Mario Wonder, just to name a couple. But even the hardest levels in those games don't come close to what Celeste throws at you. The base game alone is already hard enough for a casual run. But if you want that sweet 100% completion, you're in for a brutal climb. Every strawberry, every B-side, every C-side, every crystal heart, and of course, the moon. Seriously, at this point, I think climbing an actual mountain would have been easier. But like every climb, it starts easy and then gradually ramps up in difficulty. And this climb starts with outlining what the 100% journey looks like. So what does that journey look like in Celeste? Well, it's no short hike. This journey is more like scaling your own personal Everest while blindfolded. At first, things feel manageable. The game teaches you mechanics one at a time and gives you space to practice. But as you go deeper, the challenge ramps up steadily. New hazards are introduced, rooms get longer, and the margin for error shrinks. By the later chapters, it's not just about reacting quickly, it's about mastering every movement. Thankfully, Celeste lets you return to checkpoints within chapters to grab anything you missed. This makes returning to chapters for collectibles a breeze, since each one is neatly segmented. Here's what you're up against: 175 strawberries, 8 cassette tapes, 1 per chapter, and 26 crystal hearts. To help you find these collectibles, Celeste includes these lookouts, areas that let you view the entire room. These are great for spotting hazards, layouts, and more importantly, hidden paths to secret rooms. Even with that help though, some collectibles are hidden in unexpected ways. What? What? How does that make any sense? What? You actually have to do this? There's the heart. Wow, I can't believe you had to do that to get that. Wow. When you find a cassette tape, you unlock that chapter's B-side. And I'll say this right now, do not save these for later. Do them as you go along. I made the mistake of leaving them until the very end, and grinding through all of them back to back was absolutely exhausting. And once you collected enough crystal hearts, you'll unlock chapter 8, Core. This chapter introduces its own unique mechanic and serves as a gateway to Celeste's final gauntlet. Beat chapter 8 and you'll unlock chapter 9, Farewell, the most notorious, rage-inducing, and soul-crushing level in the entire game. It feels endless. Some rooms took me so long I started going mad. Ain't doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, the very definition of insanity? Beating chapter 8 only initially unlocks chapter 9. After so far into the level, you'll reach another heart gate. You'll need to complete all B-sides to access the rest of the chapter. In doing that also unlocks the C-side versions of every chapter, which are shorter but even harder chapters. I didn't play the C-side chapters the proper way, but I'll explain what I mean later. Finally, once you clear chapter 9 and all the C-sides, there are a couple of tasks left if not already done. Beat the Pico 8 minigame and get a 1-up. Once you've done that, you've conquered the climb of 100% completing Celeste. But my climb begins with my first playthrough of Celeste. So, like I mentioned earlier, I actually played Celeste shortly after it launched back in 2018. My old save file was still there. I'd beaten the main story and grabbed whatever collectibles I stumbled across along the way. So I already know what I was getting into, this game's story, and more importantly, its hard difficulty. But for the sake of this video, I started a fresh, completely new save file with 0 collectibles to experience the full 100% completion journey from the very beginning. And to cut down on backtracking, I followed video guides to collect everything in each chapter before moving on. And honestly, I highly recommend doing this if you want to make the 100% run a bit more manageable. The upside to starting a fresh save was getting to fully re-experience Celeste's story, a part of the game that I think gets overlooked way too often. Everyone talks about how hard the game is, but the story, it's pretty incredible. So here's a quick recap. You play as Madeline, a young woman who impulsively decides to climb the forbidden Celeste mountain. But it's not just a physical challenge, it quickly becomes a metaphorical journey. Each chapter explores part of her mental state: anxiety, panic attacks, depression, self-doubt, and ultimately, self-acceptance. Her inner darkness literally manifests as Madeline, a version of herself filled with intrusive thoughts, fear, and self-sabotage. Throughout the climb, she meets a few key people: Theo, a fellow climber who becomes a close friend, and Granny, a tough but kind mentor. And eventually, even Madeline becomes someone who helps her climb. The mental health themes in the story are raw and relatable just about to anybody. There's even a moment in chapter 4 that even teaches you a real grounding technique, a breathing exercise using a floating feather to manage panic attacks. Honestly, when was the last time a video game taught you how to calm your anxiety? And yeah, I could see the irony in teaching you how to calm yourself for a game that's brutally difficult to complete. Whenever I wasn't laser focused on following my guide for collectibles, I took time to soak in the cutscenes. As someone who's struggling and still struggles with doubt, burnout, and anxiety, there were moments that hit me hard. The one that hit the most was early in chapter 6. After rescuing Theo from the Mirror Temple, there's a quiet campfire scene with some optional dialogue. Madeline opens up and says she's always fixated on dumb crap that doesn't matter anymore. That line hit me like a truck because that's literally me. I often replayed old conversations in my head, ones where I should have stood up for myself or others, and rewrite them with the anger I wish I had at the time. Yeah, I'm that type of person who wins arguments in the shower. Then Theo shares something of his own. He started a job in Seattle that he thought he wanted but ended up hating it. So he quit after a week, and that one hit me hard too. I quit a job out of frustration, and I know what it's like to feel trapped in a 9-to-5 you just can't see yourself doing anymore. That's part of why I'm doing YouTube. I've been slowly building this channel because to me, it feels like a means to escape that 9-to-5 trap, and a hike I actually want to do. But just like the Celeste mountain, it's a long journey to the top. And with every video I upload, it's another few steps up the YouTube mountain. Okay, YouTube analogies aside, my first playthrough was mostly smooth. Tough, but manageable. Collecting everything in each chapter has its challenges, especially when it comes to certain strawberries. Some of them have wings, so if you dash, they fly away. You got to traverse the entire room without dashing, or time your dash perfectly to grab it. Challenges like this are honestly some of my favorite moments. When the puzzle clicks and you finally grab the strawberry, it feels so satisfying to do. Well, most of the time. Sometimes the setup is so precise, it feels like the strawberry is taunting you. Then it's just pain. God. Come on. Damn it. Okay, we got it. That one was hard to do. Oh, I gotta collect them without touching the ground. Okay. Damn it. Oh, come on, dude. This is freaking hard. Oh my god, I screwed it up, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, we got it. My god, that was hard to do. No, screwed that up. No, I can't do that. Nope. No, that's hard to get. No, stop it. No. I can't get this. No, no. No, God. No, I'm not doing that right either. Ah, oh, come on, really? Oh my god, I was really close that time. Jump and dash grab it, climb up, and there we go. Ah. Holy crap. Yeah, you have to be very quick to grab that. Oh my god. Oh my good god, come on. Oh, I got it. That was some freaking hard. How am I supposed to get all these? Oh my god. No, no, no. Oh my god, I almost had it. Okay, I got it. My god, that was hard. One hidden gem worth mentioning is the Secret Pico 8 minigame, tucked away in Chapter 3. When you find it, you boot up an old PC and launch a retro version of Celeste, complete with chunky pixel graphics and stripped down mechanics. No climbing, no advanced movement, just raw platforming skill. And don't let the retro look fool you. This minigame is surprisingly long and brutally difficult, featuring 30 rooms that demand precision platforming. Beating it is required for 100% completion and unlocking an achievement. So yeah, it's a mini mountain of its own that you'll need to conquer. What do I have to do here? Oh, I gotta go below. Yeah, not quite. How are you supposed to get that? Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, come on. Come on. We got this. How are you supposed to get this? No, come on. There we go. That was hard. Come on. Holy crap, how do you do this? Come on, man. How do you... What's the path here? Oh my god. How do you do this? Just no way. I gotta duck underneath that. Holy crap, that was hard. Oh, I almost had it. There we go, we got it. I mentioned earlier that Celeste gradually ramps up in difficulty, and that applies to the collectibles too. As I progressed, grabbing strawberries, cassette tapes, and crystal hearts became increasingly difficult. The crystal heart in Chapter 7 easily stood out as the toughest one to collect during this playthrough. To get it, you need to find the 6 hidden gems scattered across the chapter, each one tucked away in different sections themed after a previous chapter. It's a long, demanding hunt, and by far the hardest collectible to get on your first playthrough. With that crystal heart collected and Chapter 7 behind us, you unlock Chapter 8. Assuming you gather enough crystal hearts, of course. Chapter 8 introduces a unique twist. Madeline's dash no longer recharges automatically. Instead, you must rely on crystals scattered throughout each room to restore it. This completely changes how you approach movement and timing, turning every room into a puzzle of precision and good timing. And when you combine that with already brutal platforming, the difficulty takes another serious step up. With all the collectibles out of the way, I saved the best and hardest for last. Chapter 9, The Moon, along with the B-side and C-side chapters. Once I unlocked Chapter 9, I decided to tackle it first. My plan was to beat every main chapter before diving into the B-sides and the C-sides. What I didn't realize was that you need to complete all B-sides just to finish Chapter 9, as there's a crystal heart gate halfway through the chapter that stops you cold unless you've done them. But I still jumped in, and my god, what a difficulty spike. I thought Chapter 8, the core, was brutal, but I had no idea Celeste still had another gear. Chapter 9 demands some of the most pixel perfect platforming in the entire game. Some rooms I cleared in just a few tries, but others, I'd be stuck on them for several minutes, sometimes long stretches, just repeating the same jumps over and over and over again, trying to squeeze past insanely tight windows. It started to feel mind-numbing and my progress slowed to a crawl. And yeah, there was definitely moments where I seriously thought about quitting. No, I didn't do that right. No, I gotta be tighter than that. Oh my god, dude. Damn it. Damn it, man. No, I didn't do that right. The positioning of this is so hard. Oh my god. Oh, come on, dude. Are you I could have had it. I could have had it. Oh my god, dude. Oh, got it. My god, that's so freaking hard. Holy crap. Come on, dude. How do you get this? Holy crap, dude. Oh, god, dude. Oh my god, come on. Oh my god, man. That's so hard to reach. No, I went too early. Oh my god, come on. Oh, jeez, come on. Oh my god, I got it. Jesus, that's some hard. When a game gets this hard, it stops being fun for me and starts to feel like a chore. Now, I know some of you watching might love brutally difficult games like this. Maybe you even enjoy stuff like Kaizo Mario, where every jump is frame perfect and every death is a lesson. And honestly, I respect that. There's a whole community built around mastering that level of challenge. But for me, it just becomes a slog. Doing the same thing over and over and over again with no progress is mind-numbing. Every time I failed because I didn't jump or dash exactly right, it felt like all my efforts were just thrown out. By this point, Celeste wasn't just challenging, it was demanding perfection. And that perfection started to feel impossible. I'm gonna be real with you, I was in over my head. I clearly didn't do enough research into what 100% completing actually involved for Celeste. Once I hit the Crystal Heart Gate in chapter 9, I had no choice but to start tackling the B-side chapters. And as I mentioned earlier, don't leave these for last. They're just as punishing as the moon up to that point. And grinding through them back to back wore me down hard. That kind of difficulty doesn't just test your skills, it chips away at your patience and your energy. And it definitely chipped away at mine. Good god, the timing on these. Good god, dude, how you... Oh my god, dude, Oh my god, dude, how do you do this? Oh my god. Come on, man. Okay, I see now, you hold jump. Holy crap, that was hard. Oh, come on. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, man, come on. This is hard as hell. Fuck. Oh my god, dude, come on. We got this, come on. This is freaking hard as hell. Oh god, the timing is so tight on this. Holy crap. Come on. Okay, we got it. We got it. Oh god, that was freaking hard, dude. Oh my god, dude. Holy crap, man. No, I'm doing that wrong. I can't dash. Oh my god, I got it. That part was pretty damn hard. On average, each B-side took me about 30 minutes to do. 8 of them adds up to roughly 4 hours. And that's 4 hours of non-stop, near-perfect gameplay. Some rooms were such a puzzle that I had to pause and watch guides just to understand what the game wanted from me. More than once, I thought about quitting. But I thought I was so close to 100% completion, I couldn't quit now. And that's the very definition of sunk cost fallacy. But once those B-sides were finally behind me, I could dive back into chapter 9, the moon. This is where the game straight up turns you into a speedrunner. It introduces wave dashing. Yes, that's really what it's called. Suddenly I felt like I should dust off a GameCube and CRT TV because apparently we're playing Melee now. From that point on, the moon expects you to wave dash regularly. Eventually, I slammed into a wall. One room so brutal, it broke me. Yeah, the video title isn't just to get you to click on this video. This game literally broke me. My guide showed me I was only about 60 to 70% through the chapter, but I just couldn't push any further. The moon moon is enormous. For an average player, it can take hours. And for me, it was gnawing at my mental health too much. So I owned up to it. Like Madeline in the story, I admitted I needed help. On the verge of quitting and ending the stream, that's when I discovered assist mode. And the devs spell it out for us. Celeste is intended to be a challenging and rewarding experience. If the default game proves inaccessible to you, we hope that you can still find that experience with assist mode. So I enabled it, and infinite dashes and invincibility got me through the rest of the moon. Yes, it trivializes the mechanics, but it also saved my sanity. If that disappoints some of you, I get it. But the game, more than once, was proving to be too hard. I had to choose between finishing the game with assist mode or burning out completely. And that choice actually mirrors Celeste's own story. Chapter 9 is a dream sequence. Madeline is chasing a bird she thinks is Granny, desperate for one last goodbye after Granny's passing. The whole narrative is about recognizing limits, asking for help, and making peace with what you can't control. So enabling assist mode, it wasn't cheating the climb, it was living the lesson the game was trying to teach you all along. It's kind of amazing how my 100% journey ended up mirroring Celeste's story, pushing through overwhelming challenges, hitting breaking points, and learning that asking for help isn't weakness, it's growth. As for the seaside chapters, I breezed through them using the assist mode, but from what I understand, if you play them normally, they're even harder than the B-sides. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't have to suffer through any of those. With the moon and all the seasides completed, there was just one final challenge left, the 1-up achievement. To get it, you need to collect 6 strawberries without touching the ground. It can be done in any chapter, and with assist mode enabled, it was very easy. And with that final achievement unlocked, Celeste was 100% completed. Here we go. That's Celeste completed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had to use assist mode in the end because I was getting so frustrated how hard this game was. But I'm glad they did include assist mode because I think it's for people like me who just get frustrated at how difficult the game is. Celeste still stands as the hardest 2D platformer I've ever completed, even if near the end of the journey I needed help. It's still harder than the most brutal fan-made levels I've ever played in Super Mario Maker 2. My total death count for Celeste was 3,246 deaths, with around 14 hours of playtime. Without assist mode, I'm guessing my death count would have been around 4,000. And while I didn't want those 3 hours in Photoshop go to waste, that sunk cost fallacy ended up costing me some of my mental health. But hey, if I was going to break down mentally, I was at least going to do it with that bomb-ass thumbnail. But jokes aside, even through the suffering, I got nothing but respect for what Celeste is and the kind of players it speaks to. It's tight, it's fair, and it's beautifully designed, but man, it demands perfection. And for me, that was too much. But I'm proud that I managed to finish it. So was it worth it? Honestly, no. Not for me. I know some people live for these kind of challenges, especially the Kaizo Mario fans, and I really do respect that community. But for me, it stopped being fun and became repetitive. Most of the time, I felt like I was grinding my soul into dust with no progress, and that absolutely kills my motivation to finish the journey. I'm someone who prefers difficulty of games like Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, where the challenge feels tough but balanced. It never punishes you for being a human being without perfect reflexes. So yeah, Celeste definitely broke me. It broke me like no other game has before, which is why in some ways I regret hiking the Celeste mountain. But in the end, this was a valuable lesson in understanding what kind of games I'm actually capable of 100% completing. I came out of it with a clear sense of my limits, what I can handle, and more importantly, when to step back. Especially when it comes to managing my energy, patience, and knowing when the grind stops becoming worth it. Hey, thanks so much for reaching the end. 100% completing Celeste was definitely a mountain not worth climbing for me. I'm glad I tried taking it on and did technically conquer it. But anyway, I'm trying to reach 1,000 subs and get monetized on YouTube, but as you guys might already know, these 100% completion videos takes me a while to finish. So if you want to support me conquering the YouTube mountain, leave a like and subscribe down below. Also, if you got a game you like for me 100% complete, let me know in the comments down below. And please, no brutally difficult games. There's also a Discord server in the description, and I stream my 100% playthroughs if you ever want to chat. I'm experimenting between streaming on Twitch and YouTube, so be sure to follow me on both platforms if you want to join my streams. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.